Today is day 3 of this 40-day prosperity plan, and it's based on, I forgot the book. It's based on, again, The Abundance Book by John Randolph Price, and there's so much information in this book. So I'm reading the statements, but if you get the book, read the whole book. And I had to sit with the last sentence of this statement today because I really needed it to sink in, because that's, to me, the message is in the last sentence of the statement I'm going to read today. So today's statement is, I am conscious of the inner presence as my lavish abundance. I am conscious of the constant activity of this mind of infinite prosperity. Therefore, my consciousness is filled with the light of truth. I'm going to read it again. I am conscious of the inner presence as my lavish abundance. I am conscious of the constant activity of this mind of infinite prosperity. Therefore, my consciousness is filled with the light of truth. Therefore, my consciousness is filled with the light of truth. And I'm writing and I'm reading and I'm like, okay, but what is the light of truth? What is it that my consciousness is filled with? And the light of truth is the understanding that you are in oneness with that which created you. Throughout all of time and all of history, there was always the understanding that man was at one with that which created. Man, woman, y'all get it, right? The human beings were at one with that which created us. There was never a separation. That was never a teaching that was given. It was not a teaching that was given. Over time, the teachings that were given were manipulated and dismembered in order to separate humans from that idea so that people who were in power could maintain their power. The light of truth is that you are in direct connection to source power. The light of truth is that power flows through you, and that is what powers your consciousness. I am conscious of the inner presence as my lavish abundance. The inner presence is your abundance. That is your light of truth. I am conscious of the constant activity of this mind of infinite prosperity. Constant activity. It doesn't shut off. Are you conscious of the constant activity of source energy flowing through you? I go back again to this idea that we get caught up in thinking we're our body. Do you not stop for a minute and think in awe about the mechanisms through which you are actually here watching this video? I just want to stop for a second. I got a little bit of time. I just want to stop for a second because I want you all to be in awe of the idea of your existence to help you understand the greatness of your power. So somewhere along the line, a sperm found its way into an egg. First of all, that journey is immense. There's so much that stops that from happening, right? So the sperm made it into the egg, right? Not only did the sperm make it into the egg, but then it travels, it sits, it nestles itself in, and then explosions begin to happen of what creates that. It's such a mystery. From the scientific perspective, yes, there are chemical explosions that happen, but think about it. Like, how was that even created? It's like a little mini big bang that happens inside of a uterus. And these cells explode, and they explode in such a way that neural pathways, like energetic highways are created in a brain that formulates in different areas, memory and cognition and fear and pieces inside of us that can remember parts that we don't even have access to, because we all know by now that we barely use 5 to 7% of our brain capacity. Can you imagine? You have this whole thing up here and you only use 5 to 7% of that. So this whole process happens that creates eyes for you to view the world you're in, ears for you to hear the world that you're in, taste, eating, the proper amount of electricity, the proper amount of hormones to balance your thyroid, which balances the rest of the hormones in your body, which balances, the beating of your heart. Can you not, we just walk around every day, but can you not understand and see the magnificence of the being that you are? And even if you come into this world without one of those senses, sight or hearing, your body adjusts so that you can still understand the world you live in. We are magnificent in our existence. So what's behind all that? You think you're just a blob of goo? No. This is the light of truth. This is the consciousness that lives within you. I want you I break this down because I want you to understand, on a daily basis, the creation of you and how it has carried you through however many years you've lived on this earth. Because when you begin to really understand the magnificence of how your heart beats, how it actually beats, how your spinal cord works in conjunction with your brain and your heart and your lungs, how one boop off of any of these things, one chromosome missing, the fact that the chromosomes exist the way they do in our DNA, and that your fingerprints are specific to you and only you. I need you to feel into the power of because you're the only person with your fingerprint. There's literally no one else on this earth like you. You are an individualized portion of that which created you. And if that which created you is all infinite, if that which created you can create all of this, is complete abundance, then so are you. So are you. And if you are all abundant, then there is no such thing as lack in your life. It is either your ego wants it and you don't really need it, so it's not going to come into your existence, right? It is not the proper timing, and your timing may be I want it in a year. The timing for you may be 5 years. You may not like that. It's other things that are happening. It's not that there's any lack in your life. Some people are wanting money. They can't handle it yet. They need to go through some things to handle the abundance that's coming to them. And if they don't learn how to handle those things, then perhaps the abundance just doesn't come. Not as a punishment, but as a gift. But if you're not conscious and not aware of the consciousness within you, then you might see that as lack, as not having. because we live in a world of I want. So I want you to sit today, I want you to sit today and just be in awe of your existence. Honestly. I want you to be in awe of your very existence. I want you to be in awe of understanding. I don't really care what happened with your parents. I don't really care what the story is behind your birth. It's because it's a story. I want you to focus on the magical event that took place to bring your soul into your body into existence. Who the players were that were involved in your magical existence are actually not as important. They're really not. And I say this because we'll get caught up in our story, right? Of how we were birthed, the circumstances surrounding that, what that says about who we are, what we're capable of, how far we can go in life, all of the trauma that exists in our mind. And I'm not saying that trauma isn't real, because it is. But what I'm saying is go beyond that outward story, whatever that is, of how the person who had the sperm and the person who had the egg brought you here. The fact is that everything that it takes for sperm to get into an egg, for an egg then to grow, and for it to be birthed into this world, that process is amazing. And not as simple as everyone thinks just because it happens so often. So the fact that you're here is a blessing and means that you're breathing air is a magnificent display of power. Because you are conscious of the inner presence as your lavish abundance. You are conscious now of the inner presence of the Creator as your lavish abundance. Right? I'm not just talking about extra. I said lavish abundance. Like when I think of lavish, I think of like yachts and red bottom shoes and a chef preparing food for me, laying on a beach somewhere in the Caribbean. Lavish abundance. You are conscious of the constant activity of this mind of infinite prosperity. Constant, daily, every day, when you wake up, when you sleep. This is active in you. So therefore, your consciousness is filled with the light of truth. And that truth being, you are connected to source energy. You are a magical fucking being, and there's no one else on this earth like you. You are infinite in your ability to create the life you desire and to create your lavish abundance. There are no limitations on you. And I'll leave you with this. When we talk about limitations, I want you all to understand. There are people who have limbs missing who are running, swimming, playing basketball, jumping. If you have all 4 limbs and think you have limitations on you, you are clearly imprisoned in your mind. That is hell. That is hell. To be imprisoned in your mind of thought that says something is not possible for you because you don't have something in your life, when there are people who literally don't have an arm, who are writing books, or legs, who are playing sports. How can you possibly be lacking in anything? They aren't. They lack nothing. Which means if you feel that way, you're living in the hell and the prison of your mind. Release yourself and live in the light of truth. Release yourself from that hell. Come into heaven and live live in the light of your truth. Alright, that's it for today. Have a lavishly abundant fucking day. Okay? Alright, and fill it with some orgasms too. Alright, bye.